Let me show you how to measure the ROI of SEO with no nonsense, straight to the point. Guys, I'm Ron from Osborne Digital Marketing, and I'm going to show you exactly how to calculate the ROI of an SEO campaign. Let me explain why it's actually important to track accurately the ROI of an SEO campaign. Now, as you all know, I made my millions before I made a cent in digital marketing. I had actual telecom companies that I'd set up and had been doing infrastructure work with all of that. Now, the biggest thing when it comes to running an actual business is you don't care how much money you need to spend as long as you get a return on investment. Unfortunately, a lot of SEOs out there, they do look at it as like, well, it kind of looks cool. Traffic's going up. This is going up. That's going up. Everything should be looking awesome. No one cares. No business owner cares. A business owner can rank for 3 keywords, and if you make them 1,000, 2,000 times the return on investment compared to everything else, they're going to be happy with it. They don't care that it's 3 keywords that you're ranking for. No one cares. No one cares. The main thing is you need to get a return on the money that they invest. And that is exactly why I've created this detailed spreadsheet behind me that you're going to be able to use. You put in a few inputs and it works out all of this very, very valuable data. So you can sit there with the client and you can explain, hey, look at how much money I've actually made for you. So you get to present this to them and explain, this is what I'm bringing with the SEO campaign. So you're more likely going to retain clients. You're more likely going to, say, hey, I've created this much revenue and return for you, mate, and this is how you work it out. Because there's a lot of business owners that don't know how to do it. So I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do with the spreadsheet here. So this is the free SEO spreadsheet, guys. This is called the tab. I believe I called it SEO return, ROI calculator. It's a part of my completely massive free SEO checklist. So the link's down below. Look for that. It's got the free backlink monitor, the free sitemap scraper, and all of the generate titles, all that sort of stuff's on there. This is the free checklist. So I just added the tab, go across the return ROI calculator. All right. Quick overview is we've got the cost. We're looking at the conversion rate. We're looking at the lifetime value, because that's something that a lot of SEOs don't ever talk about. The return on investment calculations are things that I look at too, because just the ROI, again, seen some videos out there, they just talk about the ROI. I think that's very misleading, and the cost per acquisition with SEO. So let's go through it first of all. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is look at and determine your SEO costs. So essentially this is very, very easy to do. Put in, like what I've done here, 1,500 is a monthly rate, the periods. Perhaps you're doing it for 12 months and it's going to spit out the total cost here. That's what we're looking at, all right? That's what we're looking at. We're looking at the total cost of the SEO right here. Now, a big caveat that I'm going to say to you for all of this, it's very important, and a big tip that I would give you before you work all this out is make sure you have these numbers beforehand. What do I mean by that? You want to remove any junk data. So sit down with your client and understand where their revenue is right now. So let's say they're making 300, 500,000 a year. Sit down with them and be like, because around this budget is what they're going to be typically making. So sit down and make sure you get a clear snapshot of what all their data points are now. All right. You want to know how much that they're actually earning with their business. So it's 300 grand. Let's just say it's 300 grand. You need to know that because it's going to be easy to compare the 300 grand to this later on. It's very important. It's important to know how many leads are coming through already on their website, because again, if you're sitting there saying, oh, I've done all this work for you with the SEO, but they were already getting like 10 leads through the website before you even touch it, you can't count those leads. You can't really count those leads if they're getting 10 and you've been able to get it up to 20. Well, you haven't actually increased it to 20, so there was already 10 there. So you've just increased it by 10. So tracking all of this is very important. Don't sit there and use the extreme numbers. So that's a very, very important tip that I must give you when you're trying to work out the ROI of the SEO. You need to make sure you're calculating it and using data that is accurate. Something that you want to work out is the conversion rate. Okay, so very straightforward. Guys, in here you would put in the monthly traffic. Again, I don't really care about traffic. We're just trying to determine the conversion rate to help us with some stuff later on, because we're looking at local SEO clients here. This is focused all around local. I'm not doing e-com. I'm not doing any of that. This is all for local businesses, real service-based businesses. So we've got this thing here. All right, local traffic. put in the estimation that you're getting. You should have back-end access to Google Search Console, Google Analytics. Put in that number in there. Put in the conversions that you'll know through the website. This is not the video for how to set up tracking conversions. There's another video for that. You can watch that, but make sure that you're using call tracking if possible. Make sure that you're using form fills. So for myself, I like using Dialhawk. That's what I use across all of my campaigns, especially if I'm in business or anything like that. I've got a very good partnership with them, which is the main way I'm going now. That's how I track the phone calls. When it comes to leads, if you've got WordPress, you can use Fluent Forms, and then you can have an output where it tracks it all in like a Google Sheets integration setup. That's a lot better way of doing it. But as an example, you can see just in this situation, the conversion rate is 4.17. So you can see we want it put to the year as well. So when we input the formula, so we're looking at lifetime value, ROI of the whole campaign, we need to actually know what it is, not by month, but actually annually. So that's very important. So that's why we got that there. So all you're going to need to put in is this point here, this point here. This is going to be worked out automatically for you. Again, you'll need to input, and that's it. Now, here comes the lifetime value calculation, okay? Let me run through and explain why this is so important and why it's overlooked by so many SEOs. This is something that works in your favor as an SEO. So we all know if someone comes as a referral organically, they find us more organically than a paid sort of advertisement way, they're more likely going to stick with us. Referrals is obviously the best way of marketing. Like if I get a referral come over to me, we're working together. That's 9 times out of 10, we're working together. If I get someone that finds me because they like my content organically, they see a video like this, the likelihood that I'll close them is higher as an example. But if I was to then push this in front of someone, the likelihood that they'll buy from me constantly and stick around and be a part of my infrastructure group, all of that, the likelihood is a lot lower than the other two previously mentioned. So the lifetime value is something that's very important towards SEO. You get a big, big win from this. So what do we need to determine the lifetime value? Because what is it? Essentially, all the lifetime value is we're looking at a customer. Say you're a plumber. You've won a customer as an example. Every single time that customer has used you, that's a time. So let's say I've won them through SEO. We're winning number 1 in the map pack. They call us. We go out there to fix a block drain. We fix that. We charge them a couple of $100. But then a year later, they've got a blocked toilet. So they call us again. 2 years later, they want to do a bathroom remodel. This is the lifetime value of that customer. You can see it's not that just one lead. Hey, I won them organically. But the thing is, you can see every couple of years, they're coming back to us. They're using us. You add all of that together, and that's your lifetime value of a customer. Now, there are specific formulas for it. Now, what I've done on this spreadsheet, so you can be very detailed, is all of the formulas are in here, okay? So again, if you change out any of this, it's going to change it all out for you. What I would suggest, you're going to need to add more than clients 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just come into the middle here and just do the insert. So insert row above, insert row below. That keeps the formula together, guys. If you start adding stuff on the bottom down here, you're going to muck around with the averages and all of that. That's why I've done it like this. So it's nice and easy for you to use. But as you can see here, we've put in the total spend. So again, in that situation, client 1's been with us for a couple of years. Let's just say, and we've put in what it actually is. Okay, so we've put in all the numbers here. Total spend. Total number of purchases. They've used this 3 times. We've had to spend troublesome toilet. We've had to unblock it 3 times. Now, the average purchase value. So this shows that the average spend that they're spending with us. Okay, very important. And lifespan. This is in years. So how long we've been working with them. 3 years. This guy's been around for 5 years. Client 4. As you can see. So you'll need to input all of this data. It's important that you input all of this. What I would suggest is the client should already have all this data. You should, again, this is why I made all of my money with business consulting as well, because the thing is, this is very important to have. I've never seen another SEO company even ask a question like this. It's important that their client is actually understanding these values. That's what we want to be looking at. And again, it depends on how involved you want to get with the customer. But if you can see they don't really know things, maybe they do need an extra hand. Now, what we're doing is the total revenue. So we're adding up all of the revenue generated. So this is where this comes into. So all of this is automatic for you, all of these formulas. You will need to input the total number of purchases. That's automatic, sorry. The average purchase value, automatic. So that's worked out with the averages. So it looks at it. The only thing you're going to need to input, and I will make this just the lighter color so no one mucks up, is the total number of clients. So that'd be how many people you've won through SEO. Now, the problem with the lifetime value is the fact that it's hard to work out. If you've got a 1 year SEO campaign, you can't sit there and be like, oh, mate, that guy, look in the future. You're not Harry Potter. It's not going to do that. So you've got to look at things in a different light and try to understand if you have been running with someone for a longer time frame, maybe 3 years. Like I've got people that I've worked with for 3-4 years. So I'm able to sit there and make this realistic for them. But when it comes to someone you've done 12 months, a little bit harder to apply this. What you should be doing though is getting the customer to apply this to their clients that they've got now. Because again, you're going to be able to work out the LTV of the current people they have. Maybe they're only spending $1,000, but once you do SEO, you look at it a year, 2 years later, and you see that your LTV for clients that you're bringing in is $2,000. You're doing better than what they were doing. Great, they'll keep you around. All of these things are important, guys. All selling points. A lot of SEOs out there struggling to get work. I see it all the time in the chats. These are things that you need to talk about to make yourself different. So purchase frequency, again, worked out automatically. Lifetime average worked out automatically. And the LTV, the lifetime average, as you can see, here's the formula over here. Average purchases times by the purchase frequency times by the customer lifespan. All right. So all of this, here you go. So if I was to look at this, I can sit here and say, let's just say this is SEO stuff. I can sit here and go, mate, each one I'm bringing into you is $5,000. That's important. And it's important for our ROI calculations later on. So this is exactly the formula. Now we have all that data on how you will measure the ROI of the SEO campaign. Now you'll see here that I've got 3 different things, and you'll be sitting there going, Ronnie, why do you have 3 different things? Because I think the first one is misleading. I think if you just use the stock standard traditional approach of total revenue divided by the total cost, there's your ROI. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Again, let me give you an example. Let's say you're a roofer, right? Let's come back up here. The cost of our SEO is $18,000. Now, let's say we get a re-roof. Cool bananas. That SEO campaign's covered from the one job. Not really. Because if we land a $20,000 re-roof, is that $20,000 profit? No. How do businesses pay for marketing? You got to pay it out of your profits. So you need to look at that and sit there and go, okay, well, a $20,000 job, maybe it's actually $5,000 profit. Maybe it's a bit less. Safe calculation to be running with most small businesses is you want to look around 35%. Okay, 35%, the job should be around profit. If you're sitting there, you're average, you're good. It's halas, you've got enough margin for error. So you can see here though, if I do the stock standard valuation, I can sit here and be like, we've generated 150,000. Now the way I've looked at that is the revenue. Okay, so you can sit here and you can be like, oh, okay, the revenue, that's where you've got to look at the customer. What are you making? Oh, mate, well, I was making 300,000. Okay, how much are we making now at the end of the campaign? Oh, look at that, mate. It's 450,000. That's what we want to be looking at. Okay, so that's our revenue generated with SEO. Now, obviously, take out the noise, guys. If there's been referrals, take that stuff out of the calculation. Then look at the SEO cost. It was 18,000. And then look at the return on investment. This is as a percentage. So it's a 733% increase. So return on investment on that SEO campaign, as an example, worked out to be 733%. Awesome, right? Let me explain in detail. You're going to see down below, I've got the profit generated after cost. Okay, because again, guys, like I've helped dozens of companies actually grow compared to just being an SEO. Like I said, made my millions and all of my money previously before I made a cent in digital marketing, growing companies. So as an example, something that I like looking at is the actual profit, because this is how I'm paying my marketing. I can't pay my marketing if I'm not making any money. If I can't, where do I get the money from to pay for marketing if there's no profit? It's common sense. And this is what you got to think about when you're chatting with business owners. This example right here, okay? So this example right here, again, I've sat there and been like 35% of this. So we got 50 grand realistically of profit. So the profit is what's paying for the campaign. So if I sit there now and evaluate that against the SEO cost, we can see that I was still able to generate a 200% return on the investment. That's a better number. That's a more realistic number. That is more accurate to be like, okay, we've generated, there's been a profit return here. That's all you need to see. That's all you need to see. This number can be a little bit misleading, but let's explain the real number that's the most important one. Again, lifetime revenue value. If we add up all those clients that you've won over the years, let's say, again, you've worked with someone for years and years and years. Let's say you sit there and go, I've generated 300 grand for them. Let's just say it's 300 grand, right? But they were maybe paying only for, the 1 year. It was 18 grand worth of cost for the SEO. Or maybe it even dropped down a little bit more, drop down half its price as a maintenance fee. You got to see here, look at this right here. Here's your return on investment for the lifetime value of that. So now the number's just getting crazy. You can sit there and be like, wow, that's really big. That's a big, big number. So I like SEO because you do get better numbers than any other form of marketing, I believe. But that's another thing that you get to pitch to a client. So if a client, you've been with someone for maybe 2 years, they're sitting there going, I don't know if it's worth it, man. We're up the top. You got to sit here and be like, all right, let's rip out the spreadsheet on the next meeting. What are you thinking for these numbers? And even ballparks are enough. Clients sometimes need to see this sort of stuff to understand what value you're providing, because SEO is not tangible, guys. Like, what are we doing? It's all, like they say, a fugazi. It's just not like, it's fairy dust. Some of the things we do just don't make sense. So that's why you need to be able to sit there and talk about these numbers. Another very, very important thing, again, not seeing people talk about, is the cost per acquisition. Okay. This is where you're going to need the conversions that you've got through SEO, through the whole SEO campaign. Very, very simple formula. But all it is you're looking at the cost divided by how many leads you got. Well, how many people actually converted is the best way I like looking at it. So cost per acquisition. So that's what this is called, all right? It's just literally dividing this by this. Halas, it's done. But the thing is, what we get to see is how much it's worth. So we've got to sit there and be like, all right, well, we've got to pay $30 every single time we want a new customer. Compare that against your Google ads. Compare that against your letter drops. Compare that against your Facebook ads. This is exactly what you want to be doing. You want to be looking at these formulas. This is exactly how you can measure the return on investment of any SEO campaign. Now, guys, there's a link up here. If you want to have a chat with me, just click on this link. It's going to take you across to my calendar. Book a free 15-minute chat with me, and I'll help you get to where you want to be. If you also want to check out Rank Lightning, the best local SEO tool, every single month there's new stuff coming out on it, guys. Repping it right here. Rank Lightning is a fantastic stop as well. Jump over there. We're also doing a Facebook group for that as well. So if you want to jump in, have a chat with me directly in there, jump into the Facebook group and we can have a chat. Now you'll know how to get that ROI return evaluated so you can sit down with a client and make sure you get them happy and keep them on board. Like and subscribe, guys.